Hey, what's going on, people? You know what? Let me go ahead and put this on. There we go. Well, you know what? Let's make it a little bit more friendly. There we go. Sorry about that. Okay, let me go ahead and get this out the way right quick. Oh, there's Rando stream, and apparently, today is the first day of early voting for where I am. I'll put it that way. Once again, if you've heard enough of these streams, you can read between the lines where I'm at, kids. But as y'all can tell, I got the sore throat and all that. Um, and I'm just gonna see how this goes. But ultimately, like I say, I don't care at this point who's gonna be for president. Y'all have been on the roller coaster ride with me in terms of emotions and saying that balkanization will be great or balkanization is cringe. I've been on that roller coaster. I still think that balkanization is eventually going to come, but it's not anytime soon. Um, and I feel like, you know, issue's going to change regardless. It's going to change regardless. It's just a matter of time, in my opinion. It's just a matter of time. Um, like I said, I didn't feel like plugging in the mic, so if it sounds like shit, I apologize. I apologize in advance. But at this point, we're on the path. We're on that road to nowhere. Yeah. We're on the road to nowhere. Come on and in. That's where we are, though. That is where we are collectively, at least in the United States. I can't speak for the rest of the world because that would be inappropriate, this and that. But I feel like that's where we're at. We're on that road to nowhere. We're on that road to, we have no idea what's going to happen next. A lot of folks assume what's going to happen, but a lot of us, we don't know what the hell is going to happen next. Yeah. I work right now, so I'll be, oh yeah, that's cool, Temujin. Don't worry about it. It's not even that important. This is just me just ranting and raving randomly. So, but yeah, I'm just vibing right now. It's a nice morning out there. And I'm going to be going out and voting. I'm not going to tell y'all who. I'm not going to tell y'all who. I think I've gone back and forth on it. But I've got my idea on things, so I'll make my choice. But I think that it is what it is, and we're all just going to have to be smart enough and intelligent enough to see where things are going. And what I mean by that is, reconnect with the East. I would say that, China is going to be a power player. And I think that they are going to replace the United States pretty soon in terms of financial assets and also, building world democracy, I think. Is it going to be the same way as the United States? Oh, no. And is it going to be on the same level as the United States? I don't think that's the case, but I do think that China is going to be that new power player. Russia is still limited in their economy. And I think that, they will have regional power and they can, cater to American audiences to a point, both left wing and right wing, being, with Redfish and then also RT. I've got a spicy clip from Vosh that I should probably upload. I've been trying to ignore it because I feel like, I don't want to take advantage, but I feel like I have to upload this clip where he talks about, Caleb Maupin, being a Russian asset because he works for RT. He goes on and on talking to, talking about all these various folks. It's a good clip. And, I think that y'all will enjoy that. So I'll probably find that vid that he did or the stream that he did last night and do some clipping. But yeah, man, like I said, a lot of crazy, well, not even crazy. It's just it's normal at this point, but a lot of stuff is changing. And I think China is starting to go more liberal. I hope the fall of the U.S. will help reverse that. Maybe so. Yeah, I hope so too. Yeah. I don't know about China going full on liberal. I mean, it's possible. Anything's possible at this point. But yeah, I can see aspects of that. Yeah, because I have seen them do some LGBTQ stuff in China. This and that. It's like, come on, you don't want to end up like us. You know, the United States should serve as an example of what not to do. You know, and I think a lot of countries do see that. Is that they're yeah, you can be like woohoo, America had great individualism, but their but their attitudes uh, to me are still somewhat conservative. But the idea that America will serve as an example regardless. The United States will serve as an example of what happens when you have a country that can't really tackle racial issues on any level. I think, without being too SJW-esque, I think that even a Wignat will agree with me on that. We have been unable, completely almost, to really answer basic questions about race and about, who these people are versus, how we see these other folks. To me, it's just absolutely, simply is true, is that we cannot answer these questions on any real level compared to other countries, or at least, giving lip service to it. The United States can't even give lip service to it without also being hypocritical. So it's like, well, we'll talk about Black Lives Matter, but then it's just, but then we'll have these shows like Black-ish and whatnot that are just so patronizing. So like I say, man, maybe I'm being too SJWS, but I feel like that is the case. Yeah. To me, I just, like I say, I don't know. My mind is just kind of, y'all know my mind is gone, and pretty much I just spout off stuff, and for the most part, I do, while I do try to be mindful, and I try to, not just be another reactionary, or try not to just be another whichever bad guy you want to say. I'm not trying to be another Molyneux or trying to do this and that. I'm trying to be me. I'm just some random dude on the internet who decided to start filming this stuff because, secretly, because maybe I wanted to make money from it, but also because, it's easier to, this is like therapy, like I say. But yeah, man, I feel like, with the United States, a lot of, you know, we're going to see these changes happen, but it's not going to be enough as the folks like Vosh may think. It's nowhere near enough. You know, I saw that yesterday. Everyone was getting all upset because Virgil Virgil Texas was talking shit about Noam Chomsky. And the thing is, once again, I think that they do have a point where it's like Noam Chomsky's like, oh, well, we should, it's like, your family's gonna be underwater, this and that, in 12 years. And it's just like, no, what has Noam Chomsky done? What has he done? What has he done in any political sense? What has he done? He's written some books. Okay. Once again, and then I saw Vosh go on and on about this too, where it's just like, oh, all the rights you have in the U.S., people fought for that. And it's like, and of course, does he mention actually any of those folks? People like, hold on, let me see here. I'm sorry, my mind is gone. Does he mention people like Eugene V. Debs? No, he doesn't mention people like Eugene V. Debs. Does he mention any of those types of people? No, he doesn't. And he just says, yeah, these people fought for your rights, this and that. No, you shouldn't, But yeah, to me, it's ridiculous, But yeah, like I say, I'm at the point now, man, where it's just like, I don't give a shit what happens. It's just like, just let it be quick, I just, I'm just at that point where it's just like, I'm just going to enjoy my life the best that I can and just try to avoid the BS as much as I can. And when worst comes to worst, I'm going to make my own choices, you know. If if it comes to my peoples come first, then yeah, I mean, I'll take that route. If that's not available, then I'll simply take another route, you know. But that's what y'all are going to do. Y'all are going to have your own choices that you make. You know, a lot of folks don't talk about this. They're just like, well, the revolution is going to happen, and if you're this and that, it's very muddled. To me, I'm much more loose, dare I say it. But I'm not as concerned about the revolution, this and that necessarily. I'm just concerned about what's going to actually happen when things do fall apart. I got to get into reading Armistville because I downloaded it, but I should probably read that eventually. I've got like, holy shit, a lot of books on the shelf, and I have barely read or not read at all any of these books. So, yeah, Chomsky is more annoying than Twitch Zizek. Yeah, Zizek. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Zizek at least has some basis in reality and can at least talk about the Soviet Union in a more realistic way, whereas people like Chomsky, he gets all this money to be on, to do speaking engagements, this and that, and it's like he plagiarized people like Michael Parenti, this and that. I mean, you can say what you want to about Parenti and say, oh, he's a fash or this and that, but it's like, regardless, I think, or excuse me, oh, he's a tanky. That's what I meant to say. Apologies. But honestly, man, that's just how I feel. A lot of shit's just happening, and it's not really much to make sense of, at this point. So yeah, man, like I say, this could be, what's going on right now could just be another bunch of stuff like the 60s or the 70s with the Weather Underground and all the anti-Vietnam War protests. And this could just, and all of that, of course, was set up. And I believe that was, that was all honeypot type of shit. I feel like this could be the same thing now. And that really, once the election comes about and, Joe Biden comes and becomes president and then nothing happens, I don't know, man. Like I say, and then, of course, I mean, Joe Biden would probably die in office. As people have said, Joe Biden will probably die in office, and then we're going to get Kamala Harris, Cop Harris, and she's going to, she's going to really lay down the law. And she's going to be like, now my voice is all fucked up, maybe I can get to her range. Let me see if I can. I'm here. We're going to go in, and we're going to, stamp these evil people out. That's what we're going to do. That was a shit. Yeah, I'm sorry. That was a shit. Like I say, Kamala Harris is going to, that she's going to make a fool of herself. I was going to actually, I will mention something I was going to do with this stream, and then I'll cut it off pretty soon. But I was going to talk about, good morning, Benedict. Good morning, Will DeMarco. Like I say, we'll try to, this will be kind of a quickie stream. No Kyle's jaw. He said the next time I was going to stream, he was going to come in, but he's not going to. He probably left or something like that, He's a pretty good troll, I'll give you that. And I gave him some attention. I gave him a good lot of my attention that I shouldn't have given him. But you know what? It's all right. What I would say, though, is something about race. Let's talk about race. I mean, it's like it's like that joke that that what's his name did. Oh Jesus. Oh man, my mind is gone. See, once again, you get to see the beginnings of Alzheimer's disease, folks. This is what you're going to see. Yeah, it's like, oh man, that guy Uncle Thomas, he sure was, he sure did have some Alzheimer's, didn't he? Yeah, it was funny as fuck, wasn't it? I'm sure someone will say that, be like, bro, I remember Uncle Thomas. That guy was funny as fuck. He couldn't remember shit. I'm laughing right now at it. Oh, It's almost there. I can almost get it. I just can't. Oh Jesus. Lord have mercy on my soul. Um mm. Anyway, the joke was like, I'd like to talk to you about Jesus. And they're like, I'd rather you not. It's the same thing. It's like, can you imagine the most cringe thing on the internet? Let's talk about race, on the internet. But I will say this is that, I saw that Uncle Ho, one of our, he's probably asleep right now. But the thing is, Uncle Ho made a video about race and talking about, mixed waste cringe. And he showed a brief clip of E. American Johnson and Luna Oi. But he also showed a clip of that dude Lao Y86 and his wife, who have since moved to the United States. Same thing with Serpent ZA and his wife, who's now pregnant. I feel so sorry for those kids, man. I'll be honest with you. I mean, I've said this before, but I feel sorry for those kids because the mixed kids have it hard. They really do. Mixed kids have it hard because, like, you can either go and it's like you're not black enough or you're not white enough. And it's like nobody wants to be white in 2020. Yeah, bro, I just got home from what time is it over there? It's 9:20 a.m. It is 9:20 in the morning. No more lives 1975. But I figure, I'm gonna go ahead and be cringe and just say it like this. But it's like nobody wants to be white in 2020. Nobody wants to be white. So you have people like you have Colin Kaepernick, and even though I think he's half white, he's going to be as black as he can. It's the same type of thing where it's like, light-skinned brothers got it hard, don't they? People like Huey Newton, he had to be as hard as he could and be as smart as he could, and he carried that, California law book right there on his seat, And so when he got pulled over, he would pull out and he'd have to read it verbatim to these cops. You don't see that shit nowadays, do you? You just see these motherfuckers running their mouths outside of a outside of a pizza place that said the N-word in Boston. I should get some clips from that because that was hilarious, but I don't think I will. But yeah. You seem to have some kind of fixation with mixing of races. I'm mixing that. Has never been a problem. I don't know, but it is in the United States, though. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. It's like, yeah, Swedish, and for Sweden, it's not a problem, but the United States, it is because, I mean, you could talk about slavery and everything else, but for the United States, it's like, a lot of folks be like, oh, that light skinned brother. Oh, we don't trust that light skinned brother. That's what I'm saying is that even amongst black folks, they're like, that light skinned brother, I don't trust him. His high yellow ass, his high yellow ass, and so that type of stuff goes on, Yeah, it is it is an American thing though. You're right. You're right. No more lives 1975. I'm just saying it's a different thing here in the United States, because of that. But we think about these mixed race folks, and of course, I mean it's the same thing with Hoppers, man. I feel sorry for, like I say, that Lao Y9 or Lao Y86. A lot of Russian immigrants in my area. I really look up to them when I see them out in public. They look like they were pulled directly out of one of those 50s educational videos. Oh, amazing. But I feel like, that's going to be a big issue still in the United States where these mixed folks, they have to decide where they go. It's the same thing with Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris being half Indian and half black. She's constantly she's constantly trying to decide what she is. Is she black or is she Indian? She's gonna say some stuff like, "Oh, yeah, of course, yeah. I mean, I like Tupac, this and that." And then of course she's like, "Oh yeah, but I like chicken masala," So she has to play that game. Now, look, I'm speaking about this in a real way. I'm not going to say grandparent cry. It is what it is. Like I say, people are horny. I get it. People are horny. And it happens, okay? I'm not going to go too nasty, but look, people are horny. It is what it is, And to me, you know, you can go into some deeper type fetish type of shit. I'm not going to do that. What I will say though is it is what it is, but I feel like that's going to be still an issue in the United States decades later. Yeah, she's a horrible human being, but damn, I'm just saying, I'm saying it like it is, man. I'm saying it like it is, bro. Is that she has to straddle the line between being black and then being Indian, So she's this Blindian who's trying to understand what's going on. You see what I'm saying? And of course, what does she do? She marries a white dude. Doesn't marry an Indian dude, doesn't marry a black dude because that's not high status enough. She's got to get with a white dude. It's the same thing with a black athlete getting a white woman. That's a status symbol in the United States. Med women are the hottest white women, just saying. Okay. Like I say, I mean, that's all I'm saying. Race in the United States, I remember seeing this post, I think, on Twitter, but I think there is truth to it, is that race in the United States is an idea of class. And I think there is truth to it, But yeah, I mean, these racial issues, are going to continue to come up. And it's like, regardless of how woke people are, this and that, you're still going to encounter those types of things. When you see a sister up there and she's got the Black Lives Matter shirt and she got some light skin and she got, the afro, that the dark skinned brothers are going to be like, I wonder why she's on stage versus one of my sisters over here. People are going to be saying that. People are going to be saying that. People are going to be thinking it. It's also this kind of the thing of history. Yeah, I guess we really are becoming Latin America. Yeah, we are. Like I say, a lot of people fear Brazil, but we're pretty much, we will become a Brazilian nation. We will become that sort of thing where it's like, everyone's going to be mixed. I will say that, to be honest with you, we're all going to become mixed. Yeah, there are going to be some areas where it's like, a pure Bavarian phenotype type of thing, the Murdoch joke, where it's like, yeah, there's going to be some areas, don't get me wrong, there will be pockets where it's like, yeah, we're pure, we're the pure whites and everything else. But it's like, for the most part, though, everybody else is going to be mixed, everyone else is going to be mixed. You're going to have castizo futurism to a point and everything else. But it's like, that's how I feel. That's how I see it. Second place are Germans. Okay. Well, like I say, I'm trying to speak about race in a more realistic way. I hope humans die off before that happens. Maybe. Who knows? Our Target People's Republic. I have no idea, but yeah, just allow free association. Yeah. I'm just saying, man. Like I say, think about it like this with the Black Panthers and about who is regarded as a good one versus who isn't regarded as one of the better ones. Think about this. I was talking about Huey Newton before. I was thinking about this earlier, but Huey Newton, a light-skinned brother, intelligent brother. He was an intelligent guy. But who do they talk about? Who do they talk about more? We need an American dilemma. Like I say, that could be Grandmaster Jay of that Not Fuck Around Coalition. Yeah. But what I was going to say is that, with the Black Panthers, what do all these lefties point at now? They don't care about Huey Newton because they see him as a sellout. They see him as somebody who just died in an alley, which is very sad. But they don't really acknowledge Huey Newton. Who do they talk about more? They talk about Fred Hampton. They go on and on and on about Fred Hampton. They love talking about Fred Hampton. Fred Hampton what? Fred Hampton was a dark-skinned brother, wasn't he? And because he was talking about Marxist-Leninism, now everyone's like, oh, yeah, well, I respect that brother. I respect him. But they don't want to talk about Huey Newton. They don't want to talk about, Bobby Seale. They don't want to talk about them because they see them as sellouts. You see? So, as much as people want to say it, as much as, people want to be woke about racist and that is, even still to this day, people are like, See, I'll be putting it in perspective, man. It's the same type of thing. You know, it is what it is, though. Like I say, I'm not some advocate for like some pure white, purebred state because like, look, I know that's not going to happen. Like I say, people are horny. People, people smash who's near them. So it's like if you live in a Latin neighborhood, he also claims that his intercommunalism theory was Marxist-Leninist. Yeah, but guess what? Huey Newton started the Black Panthers, though. So you need to show respect to the guy that started it versus Fred Hampton, who, yeah, may have been more Marxist-Leninist, but guess what? He didn't start the Black Panthers, though, did he? So why isn't it that he isn't considered more of a revolutionary than someone like Fred Hampton? Part of it is because Fred Hampton was a dark-skinned brother versus I don't really like any Black Panther. What the fuck was even, their end goal? You can't have a socialist revolution, just one small racial group. Yeah. The thing is, like I say, speaking of that is AOC, of course, had that recent clip, where she was like, oh, the Black Panthers had, free meals, this and that. The reason you have free meals today is because of the Black Panthers, and all this type of stuff. But it's like, eventually the Black Panthers, the thing is that they were surrounded by, drugs. They were surrounded by guns, because they were trying to clean up the communities. This is something I heard from Max Julian. Max Julian played that movie, The Mac. And The Mac was made in Oakland. And Oakland was central for not only the pimps and the players, but also for, the Black Panthers. I'm sorry. But yeah, the pimps and the players, and, you had on the other side is the Black Panthers. And so the Black Panthers are trying to clean up the community, at least in Oakland. And so, they had all these, I'm getting this from Max Julian when I saw an interview of him talking about making the movie The Mac. I think The Mac, what was it, like 1975, something like that? What year did The Mac come out? Let me see. Hold on. 1973. Okay, there we go. I'm completely off. But yeah, 1973 movie comes out, and ultimately we see all this stuff go on in terms of the riots and everything else. Yeah, race is the most important factor. Okay, like I said, I'm not going to sit here and argue with you about it, man. I feel like internationalism is nice, but I feel like internationalism has limitations. Because like ultimately you got to keep the people happy. Yeah, I think many white leftists and colorblind leftist types hold Fred Hampton above BPP because his rhetoric was all about racial unity. However, they don't point out the Rainbow Coalition was, organization on a separate racial basis. Yeah. Like I say, I mean, I feel like it's nice to say we're going to be internationalists, this and that, but it's like not every worker is equal. I mean, that's my attitude. I feel like it'd be nice that all the different countries work together, but I feel like, if it is imperialist nationalism, then yes. But if it's isolations, oh, okay. I feel like, to me, it's nice to say, oh yeah, well we're gonna be more involved with internationalism now, so we're gonna get along with China, this and that. But guess what? There's always gonna be someone over another, in some way or form. To say that, oh well, it's all gonna be equal and this and that. Come on, people are there are going to be people who are going to learn how to manipulate the system. So it's nice to say, oh well, we want internationalism, this and that. It's like it's never completely worked that way. It's like, do you think that, for example, the Eastern Bloc was a completely international cooperation and alliance? Yes. Okay, that's fair. I think that's a good point. Race doesn't seem to matter in Europe. Different white people don't seem to like each other. That's true. That is true. Like I said, this is something that, I will agree on. with these folks who are like, what is white? You can be Irish or you can be, French and everything else, but you can't just be white. Well, to me, well, you know what? I can't speak for Will DeMarco, but I would say international cooperation would be more like a brick sort of scenario where Brazil, Russia, what is it? What is brick? Hold on. Oh, BRICS. Let me see here. Hold on. Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa. To me, that's a form of international cooperation economically. And to me, that's more realistic. Obviously, yeah, to me, that's more realistic having BRICS, having an idea like BRICS is much more realistic than some internationalism. I mean, what does that even mean now at this point? Internationalism, where it's like all the workers, and it's like, everyone in this field work together. It's like, it's different working standards, different everything. It's like to think that a plumber is the same thing in the United States as in what goes on in India is ridiculous. No, it's not the same thing. A plumber is going to do the different things in Texas versus even what they do in Utah. So it's like it's two different things. I don't really understand the idea of internationalism, to be honest with you. So it's like all the workers in this one field will unite. It's like, I don't necessarily, I don't know, but yeah. Yeah. International cooperation is internationalism. All right. Yeah. Maybe intra-nationalism. I know, yeah. I support anti-imperialist nationalism of oppressed nations. We should avoid World War III at all costs. CPEC is also internationalism. Yeah. Like I say, I mean, it's a complicated thing. I think that it's nice to say that we'll all get along, but to me, so let me ask you, okay, let me ask the chat this. Does internationalism, is that purely an economic basis or a trade sort of basis? I just want to make sure here. It's like I say, I mean, I could look it up on Wiki and everything else, but I want to make sure here what y'all think. So is internationalism just purely an economic thing, or is it on a deeper level where it's like, we have solidarity with all the workers of the world? Like I say, I know it's going to take a little bit, but yeah. Huey claimed nations no longer existed when he adopted intercommunalism in 1970 when he got out of jail. Yeah. Their own term for internationalism. Okay. Like I say, that's what I'm trying to make sure of, is try to pin down what internationalism means, at least to y'all. Because I know everyone's got their own definition of it. So I got to make sure. I got to be careful, right? Because there's a line between internationalism versus cosmopolitanism. Because we don't want to be cosmopolitan, where it's like we can go across the world and everything's kind of the same, or we just culture vulture and we take different elements of their culture. Eldridge Cleaver aligned faction was more loyal to revolutionary black nationalism. They were possibly more revolutionary than Huey's faction, in my opinion. Oh, okay. Well, the thing is that people don't like Eldridge Cleaver because he was a rapist. So I've heard. I don't know. I don't know for sure. I haven't, Soul on Ice. I've never read Soul on Ice or anything else like that. But so I've heard that's the whole thing. But yeah, so I know that people don't like Eldridge Cleaver for that. But yeah. Like I say, man, it's just kind of crazy. We'll see how this goes. Oh, it does look like a beautiful day out there, though. What I mean with internationalism is cooperation between different workers' movements / parties. My party here in Sweden has had contacts with Workers' Party of Korea, for example. Oh, okay. All right. Okay. If that's what you mean, then all right. I'm okay with that. Like I say, I know that it's a complex term because I know everyone uses it for their own different ways, so I gotta be careful. Bass ribs before he was in prison and soul on ice. Yeah. Like I say, I'm not saying that to disparage. It is what it is, right? People make their choices. People make their, you know, like I say, I shouldn't, it's too early for me to just start ranting and raving, but here I am. Oh, oh man. Oh boy. Oh, this is the weather I get tired of because it's like it's cold, but it's not cold enough. You know what I mean? There was a Cleaver, and the Cleaver also raped some women while in the party, but I don't know if that's confirmed. Ultimately, though, the Cleaver aligned faction shouldn't be judged on Cleaver's personal traits, in my opinion. Oh, okay. There is also another rival faction, though, to the Black Panthers, though, who were more black nationalists as well, that weren't connected with the Black Panthers at all, and they were a rival group. And this is a different group. Yeah, our party also funded a cannon for the Viet Cong. Huh. Okay. Stalin did plenty of cooperation with other parties, but also focused on helping the Soviet people. I think that's the ideal. Scandinavia. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and yeah. I'm just glad it's not raining over here as far as the weather goes. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, because when I lived in Washington State, yeah, it was just constant rain, and yeah, it's always kind of gloomy out there. And it's kind of like the United Kingdom, isn't it? It's kind of always kind of dreary, kind of pouring down rain and shit like that. Yeah. Oh boy. Cleaver Line faction was led by the Panther 21 from NYC. Their motivation was pure, in my opinion, and they shouldn't be overly judged for Cleaver's personal mistakes. All right. Okay. I'm not, like I say, I'm not going on and on about it. All right. Yeah. Okay, Skeptical Manus. I mean, all right. Like I say, there was another rival group, and it's not the Cleaver Line one either. I'm just saying is that, ultimately, I can't think of what the hell it was offhand, but I know that it's out there. And it was more of a group that was kind of the Black Wignat version of Black nationalism, where it's like, we're going to reconnect with Africa and we're going to do things, how Africans do it. So, it's like, the trad African type of stuff. And ultimately, it never really took, and it does still exist, but it's kind of in small little pockets. It's not really a big thing, but yeah. I can't think of the name offhand. Sonny Carson. Yeah. Sonny Carson's a good one. Yeah. Sonny Carson, was part of a group called CORE, which is a Center of Racial Equality. And after that kind of fell apart in the 70s, he got more into activism, and he ultimately was a big name in Brooklyn. He was a big name in Brooklyn. So it's like anyone that really messed with black folks in Brooklyn, Sonny Carson was there. He was, it's like there were a lot of Korean shops in Brooklyn, for example, and he shut those down. But yeah, to answer your question, though, Skeptical Manus, I can't think of the name of the group offhand, but yeah. The United Slaves Group run by Ron Karenga. They invented Kwanzaa. Yeah, that's it. Yep. They were used by the government. I've never heard that the government used them. So they were, okay. So they were fed patsies, huh? They were patsies used to undermine the Panthers. Oh, damn, that's sad. I didn't know. I genuinely didn't know that, but okay. Problem with America is that it's not created one universal culture, like I would say. Yeah, that's true. That is true, Normal Libs. We really don't. We have all these different little subgroups out there, where it's like, you have more of the traditional cowboy sort of folks, and then you have the the urban folks, you got, yeah, that's when you get Wignats and Hoteps. Yeah, that's true. You have a point on that, No More Libs, where it's like, you have all these different choices and options, and I think that, a lot of people consider that a strength, but it's also a weakness for the United States, where it's like, all these folks trying to get along and everything else like that. It's like, it's never really worked that way, has it? Oh, well, I'm glad I got to vibe with y'all. I did. I'm glad I get to vibe. Yeah, the cops instigated violence between United slaves and BPP. Then the cops would mass arrest BPP members to stop them from retaliating. This is well documented. All right. Okay. All right. Americans fucking hate each other. Yeah, we really do. We do. We absolutely hate each other in the United States because everyone just thinks that they have a better idea and they can create something better. And if it only wasn't for the conservatives that are holding them back, or if it only wasn't for the liberals that are holding them back, then they would have a much better system. And that's unfortunate, but yeah, that's where we're at. Yeah, but yeah, that's how it is. That's how it is, at least in my opinion. Like I say, y'all can agree to disagree, but yeah. The thing is that you can say what you will, but I think a lot of folks, for example, with Huey Newton, he went to go live in, after COINTELPRO and other stuff that happened with the Black Panthers, he went to China, or excuse me, he went to Cuba, and then he went to China. And when I was reading Frederica Newton's book on him, his last widow, uh, she talked more about it. And like I said, you can take it with a grain of salt, but he went to Cuba first, and it was more laid back, and people were much more free to do what they wanted in general, but it was much more laid back culture. Whereas China, I think naturally like this with China, but it's like he went there and it's like 15-minute break, then it's like back to work, you know. So I think that he kind of outlined those two ideas, and then eventually came back to the United States because it was all he knew. He was a product of the American system. And that's something that I kind of preach about as well. Is that as an American, nobody wants us. Nobody wants us because we're all fucked up over here. It's like we're busy listening to beating motherfuckers like Ike beat Tina and all that type of thing. I know that's Notorious B.I.G. from '93 or '94, but it's like, but that's what we're in, man. Nobody wants us. No country wants Americans except for the smart ones, but they don't want us. They don't. They don't want us. That's the whole thing. We're just it's a giant asylum at this point. Nobody wants us though. Canadians don't really want us. The Chinese don't want us. You think Europe wants us back? Fuck no, they don't want us back. You think that France or Germany or Hungary or which you think they want us back? Hell no, they don't want us back. They don't want us. That's part of the thing. Yeah. Biggie said some sus shit. Yeah, yeah, he did. He had it. Yeah. I mean, say what you want about Sweden, but a majority of the second generation immigrants are assimilating for the most part because we have a cohesive culture. Yeah. What about Israel? Oh Lord, I don't. Yeah, yeah. Well, Israel wants the money, and they want the more successful Jews there. Yeah, Tupac was gay. Yeah, he probably was. He probably was. Like I say, I mean, there's no way that he could get that much money and not become gay. Where he's in the bathtub with all those jewels sitting on his junk. Come on, yeah. Yeah, it does. Like I say, it's weird because I don't really care about ideologies deeply. I don't really care about ideology as much. I'm not some wignat who's like, oh yeah, well, we got to preserve the white race. I'm just saying is that I'm trying to say it how it is, man. Well, I mean, skeptical menace. I'll say this is that in general, I think that we can respect the ideas of socialism, and we can respect that, but some things we're kind of sus about. There's some things that we feel that are kind of sus with the traditional idea of socialism. I think that's all. At least that's my view. I mean, yeah, it is kind of weird, but I don't. I just kind of yeah. Well, I appreciate that. I appreciate that, skeptical menace. I appreciate that you think I'm reasonable. like I say, sometimes I say some radical stuff that, is wild and off the wall, but other times, I'll try to be more realistic and be like, maybe what I was saying was bullshit. So I try to have that open dialogue, dare I say terms like that, but it's like, that's how I feel, you know? I say some wild shit, but I think in general, compared to what other people say, it's just kind of mediocre. But, for people like me, we're older. I've been through a fair amount of jobs. I know that I'm kind of trapped in my own little world, is that I'll probably end up getting into insurance. And that's probably where I'm going to be for the rest of my working life, is going to be in insurance. Because I don't want to have to go back to express employment. For those that have been in the United States, y'all know what express employment is: being a temp worker, going out to some place where they fold napkins or something like that. You don't want to do that. I don't want to do that again. I don't. You know. So I was like, well, I'm going to have to knuckle under, and I'm going to have to, just play the game of being in insurance. That more than likely, that's probably what I'm going to try. I'm going to see if that's what I do. But, I'm not tied to the idea, but I feel like that's, in the current paradigm, that's what I'm going to be doing. But I'll play along, whatever happens. And that's what I preach about, basically, is individually, you're going to do what you have to do, and you're going to join the groups that you're going to join. I'm not going to judge you. I'm not going to knock you for it. You're going to, you do what you feel is right for you. Ultimately, that's my attitude, where it's like, you're going to make your own choices. You're going to make your own ideas. But yeah, I did temp factory for a while. Some places will hire you, but others recycle so you don't get benefits. That's true. That is true. That is true. That is true. The only place I got through a 401k was I was working at J.C. Penney, and I worked there for 2 years. So I had the idea. So they took out money so that I could get a 401k. And pretty soon after that 2 years, basically because they didn't like me. I think, well, it's not just that. It was also because there was a teenage kid who took off his shirt, and because I didn't handle it in the right way, they decided to let me go. And so I was like, well, okay. I mean, if you want to see it that way, all right, but yeah. But I remember at the end, I was just like, I was starting to get nasty, this and that. But ultimately, I was like, okay, when can I get my 401k money? And so then I was just like, okay, it was just more of a surprise. And like I say, I mean, I've learned to try to at least pick up the to pick up the notes, to understand the connections. It's like, okay, they're putting me by myself. Okay, they finna let me go. They finna let me go because now they're putting me by myself. I'm sitting over here in this area now and everything else. So it's like, I don't know, man. I've been through a fair amount of jobs. There are people who've been through more. There are people who've been through less. But I've been through enough to be like, yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's just kind of crazy. Like I say. It's good. Like I said, this is therapy for me in a certain way. I'm glad that at least somebody can see it. You know, like I say, I'm about to graduate from college, hopefully, if I can get my shit together. And when I graduate, I'll just get my little degree. They'll probably send it to me in the mail because there won't be there won't be any graduation at this point. I know there won't. They're just gonna flash the names and show our pictures, and they'll just send it to you in the mail. And that's fine with me. At this point, I don't give a shit. I don't care. Just give me my degree, and I can get my little plaque and move on. That's all right. It's whatever to me at this point. Like I said, I don't say that as some angry type of thing. It's just more of a, okay. To me, being angry, you're trying to be contradictory. To me, that's kind of boring. For me, I have my views and everything else, but it's like I've pretty much accepted my role in life. I'm going to be the paper guy. I'm going to be the guy, the everyday guy. That's who I am at jobs. I'm the everyday guy. I'm the utility guy, the one that takes care of a little bit of everything. I'm the guy that's in the back, though, trying to organize stuff to not be out there in front. I like to be a ghost. I do. That's why I don't really like to show my face that much. I'll do it from time to time, but it's like in general, I like to be a ghost. Just to be some voice, just speaking. It's easier for me. I like the idea of anonymity more so than being out there and everything else. That's another aspect of American culture too, though, where you're just like, oh yeah, let's talk about, let's get in, let's all be, individual and let's all be this and that. But it's like, I also like to be out of that and, be kind of a free bird, so to speak. But yeah, that's kind of spooky. Yeah, never had any higher education. Went straight to trade school. See, the thing is, you know what? I took part of your route though. Normal Libs 1975. I did. I did. I did some college, and then college didn't work out. I ended up dropping out of college, and then I went to trade school for HVAC. There's nothing wrong with that though. Yeah, you're not necessarily dumb for going to trade school. There's nothing wrong with that. If you can find a job, then that's good. Yeah. Went straight to shit jobs. The thing is, like, I went to college for a little bit and didn't work out. And then I went to trade school for HVAC, air conditioning, basically, air conditioning work. And they had me for about 8 months and then they kicked me to the curb. Um, Basically because they just didn't think I was good enough, and that's fine. Like I say, I mean, it is what it is. Like I say, I remember being a smartass when I left there, like, well, it's not the first time. I remember saying that at the end, like, well, not the first time. And, I just walked out. But yeah, I had that job for like 7 months, I think. And so, yeah. Yeah. But yeah, like I said, I don't have anything against that. There's a lot of great folks that work in trades, that are smart as fuck. I mean, for me, I mean, the real dumb boy gang, the real dumb gang, are the folks that go to college. I will be honest with you. The real dumb gang is going to college and thinking that I mean, people that get their degrees in marketing, people like me, and or get their degrees in, I mean, accounting. You gotta be pretty good, to be in accounting because especially when you get your certified public accounting license. So there's a lot of that. But I think that people that get their work being in a real dumb gang is getting $400,000 in debt and journalism degree. That's true. That is true. Yeah. I'm doing computing and I fucking hate it. Yeah. I mean, you do what you got to do, man. Like I say, it's different all over the world, but yeah, it's a fucked up thing, you know. Like I say, I know that for me, had to take a 2-year unpaid apprenticeship though. Yeah, working every day for nothing. Damn. Yeah. Like I say, I think for the United States, being in air conditioning, now they pay you for your apprenticeship, but the thing is, you got to be a helper and you're out there, doing all sorts of shit, lugging the big heavy shit and all that business. But yeah, definitely sucks though. But yeah, I mean, people do what they got to do. That's what I would say about jobs as well. People do what they got to do. They do what they have to. So I can't knock them. If you work in plumbing, I got nothing but respect for you. If you work in HVAC, I have nothing but respect for you. I'm glad that you do what you got to do. To get that money, to get that rent paid, or to get pay for your kids, or whatever the case may be. That's why people become socialists, because they're like they're tired of this wage cut type shit. They want to have some control over that. So I can respect that. Like I say, man, it's a crazy world. You know, like I say, I'm gonna be going back in the workforce eventually, and who knows? Like I say, insurance is my idea right now. Who knows if that may happen? Hell, I'll probably end up, as much as I was talking shit about being at express employment. shit, I'll probably end up being there. I'll probably end up being back there for a few months before I get a job in something else. You know? Yeah. College, I went through 2 majors before landing in communications with a minor in history. Oh, wow. Huh. 8 hours a day except for Fridays. Swedish system is fuck. 8 hours. Whew. Like I say, I can remember. Wow, crazy, crazy stuff. Yeah, like I say, man, it's people do what they got to do, though. You know, like I say, just keep your options open. I guess. I mean, that's all I can really say about school and all this. It's just like people do what they have to. That's all I can really say. People do what they have to. Yeah, it's a wild, crazy thing out there, man. Probably end up having to play the game somewhere else. I don't know where, but somewhere. But yeah. Oh, oh. Oh, mama. Yeah. Oh, what else can I say? I'm sorry for the dead air. Apologies, folks. I'm just waiting right now. My mom's getting ready for us to go out and do some voting. Full time, no pay. Yeah. Yeah, man. It's like I say, it's one of those things, man. You think about all this while you're voting, and you say that, the thing is that, once again, I hold a view that the game doesn't change. It's just the players, People can talk about, like I say, I can ooh, appreciate socialism, this and that, but it's like, to me, the system, wherever you live, is where it is. It's like if you live in Texas, for example, you're going to be dealing with some conservative type stuff. Right in Stalin. Yeah, maybe I will. Yeah. Voting is dumb. Yeah, it is. It is, but we got to keep up the illusion, as they say. We got to keep up the illusion. You know, so yeah, like I said, I'll play along. Besides, for me, it's like at least we get some some credit. I can get credit for my class. This is how retarded college is. I'll tell you this right now. My teacher is giving us extra credit if we bring in our sticker that says "I voted," and it's crazy. Yeah, right in Ayatollah. Yeah, I may. It's electronic though. It's electronic in Texas. Oh shit! I said it. Oh shit! I'm sorry. But yeah, it's electronic. So yeah, I would write in Stalin and write in the Ayatollah, but yeah, it's electronic. So yeah, yeah, I'll see how it goes. Like I say, I'll just do my voting. Yeah, the extra credit for voting. Yeah, it is. But yeah, I mean, college is a joke. I'm just gonna tell you right now, college is a joke. The thing is that, once again, you think about the fact, the stats and everything else. It's like most of the stuff you learn in college is outdated by the time you leave college. So it's like you're fucked no matter what. It's like, and most of the time it's like you get your STEM degree. It's like it's a good thing I almost went STEM. I almost went STEM and got my degree in biology, but then I realized I was just too dumb by that point. It's like I was somewhat good at biology and science when I was in high school, but that was like a million years ago. By the time I went and learned about uh, biology today, I was like, oh shit, I'm fucked. College does suck. Yeah, it does. It does. It absolutely does suck. But for me, I wanted to finish what I started. But yeah, uni and college is shit. I probably wouldn't get a job with my computing degree. Yeah. That's the whole thing, man. Like I say, you know, most of the economy is just gonna be made up of people who are hustling. They're gonna be selling pills or robbing people and shit. That's what people are gonna be doing. People are gonna be robbing each other for so that they can pay off their debts. That's gonna be how it works, isn't it? That's probably the future of America, isn't it? It's just which gang are you going to be a part of? Lump and prole. United States is just going to become another, just another country that's made up of kleptocracy. And just robbing people. You know, Instead of just the big guys robbing people, they're just going to encourage other people to, they're just going to encourage ordinary people to rob each other. That's a fucked up thing. You would wish that solidarity was the reality, but yeah, I don't know. It's wild stuff. It's wild stuff, man. Yeah, Nazbo gang. Yeah. Abolish education, return to Neanderthal. I pretty much am a Neanderthal. I pretty much am in a lot of ways, but yeah, gang, exactly. Yeah. It's wild stuff, man. It really is. It's wild stuff. I have zero to use from the math I learned. Yeah. Apart from all you need is PEMDAS. Or, well, excuse me. Yeah. All you need is MDOS. Multiplication, division, addition, subtraction. Beyond that, the rest is stuff that only. The thing is, engineers have programs that they can enter in all that shit, so they don't have to do the math. It's like, plumbers do use their own forms of math and everything else to a point. But, I don't know. It's like a lot of shit's been simplified. So it's like, I don't know, man. Like I say, it's just. Yeah. Like I say, what else is there to say, though, at this point? Like I say, I mean, it's just. Oh, it's wild. It's wild. I think with people like, the thing is, like, yeah, we don't need math. We need to move into Uncle Ted's cabins. Yeah. Where the North Sentinelese right all along. Yeah, could be. Yeah, it could be. Yeah. Calculus using nerds. Exactly. It could be. I mean, why don't we go back to that time where we just, live in log cabins and, you know, hunt and gather and all that type of thing? Yeah. North Sentinelese or Nas Prim. That'd be base, though. It would be base to live that way. But at this point, I'm too old to do that shit. But yeah, the younger generations and Prim Gang, rise up and Prim Gang, Nas Prim Gang, Yeah. At this point, that sounds a hell of a lot better. It really does. It does sound a hell of a lot better than to live that way than to, just post cringe. Yeah. I don't know. At this point, it's just. I'm tired of playing the Vosh clips, though. I'm kind of tired of that. Just as a random thought in my head. Return to monkey, exactly. We just used Pythagorean theorem and carpentry, basically. Other than that, simple stuff. Oh, okay. Yeah. Save for the pagan autism. Yeah, exactly. Well, yeah. Yeah. Oh, boy. Oh, it's crazy. It's crazy, isn't it? Oh. Oh, my goodness. Oh. What else are we going to do? Just waking up, vibing. Let me ask y'all this as a random thing. And I said I was going to end it, but shit. But I'll let it play for a little bit longer. I know y'all are vibing. What I will say is, y'all want me to do some footage of this trail I go down? Will you ever cover some Black Panther history in this channel? I could. I did get that book that you had, so maybe I'll read a little bit of that. You want me to read that next time, Skeptical Manus? I'll do a little bit of reading of Black Panther history. I'll read a little bit about that. Okay. Yeah, I'll probably maybe I'll do some filming with that because I bought this camera a while back and maybe I'll try to get it working now. I'll do some outdoor stuff. Show this trail that I walk through. Pretty nice. I'll do that. But I will also look at Black Panther history, though. Just to be fair, I will look at that book that book recommendation you had for me a few weeks back. I think Skeptical Manus. I will take a look at that. But I think other than that, oh, I think I've, oh, I think I pretty much said my piece. I think in general, all the random stuff that was going on in my head. Like I say, college just sucked, though. I will say that. You know, I'm a few months away from graduating, hopefully. And yeah, it's just absolute bullshit, you know? But yeah, trail sounds nice. Yeah. Yep, I will get some shots of it. Maybe I'll get some shots of it today. I'll get my stuff hooked up. Yeah, his blind fetish is more cringe than the pagan stuff. Yeah. But you know what? We've gone on for about an hour and 5 minutes here, just vibing. I think it's been a great time. You know, I understand that y'all are continuing to vibe and everything. I would just keep the chat open and let y'all just talk amongst yourselves, but I think that'd be that wouldn't be good, right? Y'all don't want to do that. But I don't know. At this point, you know, it is what it is. I'll put it that way. But you know, as always, though, I didn't give props on the last one, but I will give props on this one. So I will give props to my audience, of course. Will DeMarco, Timid Jin, No More Lives, Please, 1975. If I ever smoke cigars, I have smoked Swisher Sweets. And meh. But yeah, that's just me. Yeah, blonde Turks exist. Yeah, I hate Turks, including the blonde ones. See you later, Benedict. Benedict, Autarky People's Republic, Manny, Timid Jin, Union Army Ball, Skeptical Manus, Will DeMarco, Gnome, No More Lives 1975, or No More Lives Please 1975, Ole, Timid Jin, I think I said that already, Autarky People's Republic. There's somebody else. I thought there was somebody else. Gnome, I think he changed his name. Oh wait, I'm bugging. I'm sorry. Just trying to make sure. Okay. Yeah, we had been going on for a while, but yeah. See you later, folks. Gang, gang, gang. Exactly. I think I will try to upload, hopefully today, then some footage of that trail. I'm going to try to today. I've been putting it off. It may not look brilliant, but I'm going to try to upload that. And then maybe tomorrow, or actually, let's say Thursday. Thursday, I will try to do some Black Panther history stuff. Okay. That way, you know, we'll do some of that. But anyway, let's shoot for that. And I hope y'all have a good rest of the day. And I'm just going to end it right here. So see you later. Have a good one and goodbye.